world-class destination, a kaleidoscope of color, language, natural wonders and adventure, a magnetic heartland and warm, welcoming people that draw visitors back. This is South Africa. Magnificent splendor, valleys and peaks, vast escarpment landscapes, cultural and historic villages, leisure resorts and luxurious hotels, mind-boggling activities and festivals, an unforgettable destination. This is South Africa. Come and discover the cradle of humankind, your spiritual home, a diverse world in one country where nothing but wind blows through mountains, where you witness the sand mix with sea and eddy across expansive beaches, where the sun rises over the endless open space of a desert, and where water gushes a raft down a bellowing river canyon. We invite you to travel the lines of South African latitude. Over the decades, travel and tourism is one of the fastest growing economic sectors in the world, representing one of the main income sources for many developing countries, including South Africa. Globally, the tourism industry employs over 220 million people and generates over 9.4% of the world's GDP. Tourism is serious business. In South Africa, the stakes are high. Tourism is one of the 6 pillars in the 2020 New Growth Path. At the same time, our dream is to become the top 20 global tourism destination by 2020. And it is a dream we can and must fulfill. South Africa is the largest economy in Africa, and it remains rich with promise. 2010 witnessed the successful hosting of the FIFA World Cup, an event which put South Africa on the map as a serious contender with over 300,000 tourists giving their stamp of approval. We were admitted to the BRICS group of countries to join Brazil, Russia, India and China in 2011. Our science and technology capabilities and natural assets came together to win the right to host the Square Kilometre Array project, a major coup for our country and boon for our tourism industry. The South African film industry contributes 3.5 billion rand annually to the country's GDP, while providing employment for more than 25,000 people. South Africa is perfectly positioned to expand our tourism economy based on innovation, service excellence, and meaningful participation and partnerships. Safeguarded by one of the world's most progressive constitutions, a Bill of Rights second to none, an independent judiciary, a free press, and a robust multi-party political system. We have a world-class and progressive legal framework. The economy has a marked duality, with a sophisticated financial and industrial economy growing alongside an underdeveloped informal economy. And it is this second economy which presents both potential and a developmental challenge from a tourism perspective. Because putting aside our wonderful natural attributes, our strength really lies in our people. A nation of diversity with nearly 52 million people and a wide variety of cultures, languages, and religious beliefs. So come and indulge our geographic attributes, our weather, our people, our sights, bird life, and wildlife, canopy tours, arts and entertainment, Blowgrounds bungee to the Drakensberg Spectacular, townships to the cosmopolitan city life, from gold and diamond mines to the heart of humankind. Wander along sights unseen, journey the miles of glorious coastlines, meander the routes of voyages never ventured. So come and discover South Africa, where the scenic splendors and natural wonders will take your breath away, and the warm hearts and open arms will draw you into the soul of Africa.
Thulani, let's start off with just how big a contributor this sector is to GDP and where you'd like to take that, because first quarter GDP numbers highlighted the fact that we saw tourism grow, 10.2% growth coming in terms of foreign arrivals as well, and that's significant enough. So it seems like we are gaining traction.
Yes, thank you very much. We are gaining traction, and I think if you compare our performance against the global trend at 4%, our growth was 10.2%. That's almost 2.5%, 2 times better than the global trend. But it translates into real numbers in terms of how it impacts on our economy. The contribution in terms of revenue generated by those tourists who came to South Africa in 2012 is a 76 billion rand, and that's a 7.3% growth in the previous year. And then you look at the contribution in terms of employment. The tourism in general is measured better by saying what is the total contribution to the GDP and what is the total contribution to employment. On the direct employment number is a 4.5% contribution, and it is a 4.5% contribution to also the GDP number. So those numbers are quite impressive. Where would we like to see it? Definitely would like tourism's contribution to employment to be in the region of about 6-7%. And if we can also move similarly on the side of GDP to the same levels, they will have done very well. You will remember that we also have the 2020 targets. According to those 2020 targets, tourism is supposed to generate an additional 225,000 jobs. And our aim by that time is that contribution from tourism in total on the trended revenue should be in the region of 499 billion rand.
So just on the cusp of 500 billion rand there. We're also expecting South Africa to sit as part of those targets among the top 20 world tourist destinations.
Correct.
How are you ranking South Africa's status right now in terms of its standing as a brand, so brand South Africa?
Yeah, I think if you look at the visibility of the country, what we call awareness of the country, we are actually doing very, very well. And what we do is we measure from country to country. What is the level of awareness when it compares to other countries? There are other countries where we feature as number 1, in other countries we will feature as number 2 in terms of awareness. Now, the second column that we look at is the positivity. It's one thing to be aware of a country, but in what kind of perspective? Are you positively aware of it or negatively aware of it? So these are some of the things that we're doing, but the best is to measure it from country to country for now. Our aim is to say we want to be in the top 20, which means at the moment we are outside of the top 20. The way to arrive at the number finally, to achieve our objective, is to make sure that we understand those countries that are performing ahead of us. What is it that they are doing? What is it that we can start doing now? Because we're not going to surprise ourselves come 2020 and suddenly we are in the top 20. We need to do certain things that will push us bit by bit.
So let's take a look at it, because you're measuring things for now. Let's take a look at how you're influencing things moving forward. Just how much are you investing when it comes to CapEx directed at marketing South Africa and tourism in the country specifically?
Well, I think if you look at our budget, we are now just close to R1 billion as a total budget. And our marketing budget out of that is 75%. So we are putting a lot of money into marketing the country. And how are we spending this money? We have a mix of the marketing platforms that we are using. We do use the electronic media, including TV, and we use the social media side. Depending on the country, we have serious penetration in different platforms that we're using out there. But the bottom line for us is to make sure that we use all of these kind of marketing instruments that we've got to get ourselves bit by bit to that ultimate goal. What we then do is consumer insights, so that we understand in every country what are those triggers that will make people excited about our country. Among other things, when you do the brand tracking, will be how awesome is the country, how adventurous is the country.
What are the results showing for now?
We're doing very well. Honestly, we are doing very well, especially in the core markets where we are. The awareness level in the UK is at the highest, about 92%. Awareness about South Africa. That should not be surprising for you, because of course we have trade links with the UK and there's a lot of affinity between these two countries. So, and on average, as South African tourism across the board, our awareness level is at 81%, which means people, more and more people are aware of the country.
They're aware of it and increasingly becoming more and more aware,
Positive.
as you say. But what do they want to see more of and experience more of?
Well, there will be things that are generic from market to market. Firstly, we are known as a safari destination. We are known as a scenic country. But over and above that, we then bring in the other things of heritage and culture, lifestyle, design, and music, and food and wines. You know, these are the things that differentiate us.
Absolutely. Those are the differentiating factors, Thulani. How exactly are we seeing South Africa tourism gearing up, though, to become more globally competitive? Where does that strategy stand right now, and how correlated is it with the national tourism sector strategy?
Well, our point of departure is, in fact, from the national tourism sector strategy. So we derive our mandate from there. So in deriving the mandate from there, we then look at how do we make this strategy actually breathe? How do we bring life into it? And we take various things. We look at investing in markets where we can get a quick return on investment. We look at markets that are very responsive to our messages. That's why consumer insight is very important, because it's not a broad brush approach. That the same marketing messages and consumer insights, the attractions that bring people to South Africa are not the same in the UK. Let me give you a quick example. When we market in a country like China, we will market adventure, we will market casino experiences, we will market golf, we will market a little bit of the Cape Town Table Mountain and wines. When you market in a country like the UK, because they know your country very well, you have to show them a variety of other things. Lifestyle, take them to the townships, let them see something new, because otherwise they will not be very attractive.
Beyond those traditional markets, who else are you targeting? Because we often hear that we're not targeting our fellow Africans enough.
Well, in the last 2 years, we realized that our core markets of Europe were not going to yield the results that we wanted. And as a result of that, we diversified our investment very quickly. We started investing in Asia and in regional Africa and Latin America. The results are there for everyone to see. We actually almost tripled our return from in terms of tourism from China. India doubled, Brazil doubled. Africa continues to grow because we invested in those markets. So yes, we diversified our investment very quickly in a short space of time, and we are getting the results now.
Looking at South Africans, are South Africans traveling enough in South Africa?
South Africans are not traveling enough in South Africa. In fact, last year, only about 14 million South Africans undertook trips domestically. Our call to South Africans is, we want you to travel like a tourist in your own country. Begin to enjoy those kind of tourist experiences that million others come to our country for year in and year out. We want South Africans to understand and at least give them reasons to travel. And that reason is, it is affordable. Don't think it's very expensive. Your pair of jeans is possibly more expensive than your flight to Durban. You didn't know that. And also, we want South Africans to feel good about travel and say, it's good for me to go out there and get spoiled. And because I'm tired, I've worked very hard. We want South Africans to go out there and connect with each other. So to do this, we package together with the industry a few triggers that is going to excite them. We also make sure that we have a few celebrities, including yourself. We want you to go on a trip via Mzansi. Go experience South Africa. You know how embarrassing it is for us South Africans not to know our country, and we get foreigners actually telling us a little bit more about our country than we do.